Hello, everyone. Welcome to another evening of stamping. My name is Sarah Simon, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am coming to you from Appleton, Wisconsin, where it's been a little steamy the last few days, but I think tomorrow we're finally supposed to get a break, and I can't wait to open my windows. How about any of you? I know it's been steamy almost all over the United States. Oh, thank you very much, Linda. Um, Tonight is a creative challenge night. So, for those of you who are maybe new to me, I every once in a while, when I find a new fun fold, I will make a couple of cards with that fold and I'll share the dimensions with you. And then you have a week to make a card using that fold, putting your spin on it. And then if you share it either on Facebook or you can email it to me, then next week when I have my live, I will do a drawing and everyone who participated will get their name into a drawing. Actually, I do it on like a little spinning wheel. And the person who wins is going to be able to choose the suite, the bundle of, not suite, the bundle of their choice. So whatever bundle you want, whether it's something that's on the online exclusives or anything that is in the catalog, you just let me know what it is and I will order it for you and get it sent off to you. In New York, it's really steamy as well. I know it's like they were saying, like all over the country, like it usually doesn't stay this hot this long in Wisconsin. Usually that's why you like living in Wisconsin this time of year is because it's not so humid, but oh my goodness, it's been really, really humid the last few days. So I do have some happy mail to share with you. I received this card in the mail from my would be my second upline, Ann Hubner, and she was congratulating me because I was number 3 in sales for her stamping group through the third quarter. So that was kind of exciting to see because she's got some big name demonstrators underneath her. So that was kind of exciting. And then I was shocked to get this card in the mail. This is coming from Shannon West from our home office. And I was like, why is she sending me a card? Because she already thanked me, but when they were here, I said to them, do you guys have any Wisconsin cheese? You're not from Wisconsin. Everybody who comes to Wisconsin needs cheese. And they're like, no, and I don't think we're going to be able to get anywhere. So, those of you that know me know that my family used to own a cheese factory. It's still called Simon's Cheese, but nobody in the Simon family works there anymore. So I ran over there and picked them up a whole bunch of cheese so that they could bring back, including cheese curds. They don't even call them cheese curds. They call them squeaky cheese. But it's so funny because my dog had been alone all day. I picked up a treat. They have these specialized dog treats there, and I picked up a little bag of treats to bring home for her. And I completely forgot to pull it out of the bag before I went and gave them all of the cheese that I picked up for them. So she said, also, I'm sure your puppy is missing the delicious doggy bones, but rest assured they are making my niece's puppy very happy. He's a 90-pound Bernedoodle. He's never met a stranger. Lila's the same way. She's never met a stranger. She's only about 40 pounds, but she didn't know that I got her treats and ended up sharing them with a different dog. So at least she won't know that she won't get jealous. All right, so I got that from Shannon. And then I received this beautiful card. Look at this. And this opens, it pulls out like so. Isn't that gorgeous? This is from Kathy Kessler. She won for placing an order. She won something a long time ago. And then she won like a $25 gift card or something like that. So we just made it a bundle. And so I finally got it to her. It's like been really a long time. So she was thanking me for that because she finally got that. So anyhow, oh my goodness, lots of you jumping on here. That's awesome. I also have some prizes to give away tonight from my cards that I made last week. So a lot of you are placing comments, and that's great. And I try to watch all of them. If I were to say hello to absolutely everyone, it would take forever because people keep jumping on. So I do see all of your comments. Oftentimes I go back and look at them, and if I see I didn't know where the Simons came from. And Simons, that was me. That was my family. Anyhow, I do go back and look at them. And if anybody asks a question, I usually try to reply with a response to it. However, if you're commenting in YouTube during the live stream, I can't technically reply to that once the live stream is done. I could reply to it while we were all in the live stream, but not afterwards. So I would either have to send you a private message, or sometimes I will tag you in just like the regular comments, but I don't know if everybody always sees those. So, but anytime you place a comment, whether it's on Facebook or if it's on YouTube, or if it's live or if it's afterwards, I always put your name into a drawing. What I do is I write everybody's name down, I assign you all a number, and I do a random pick. And the person that I picked that's going to be receiving this card that we made last week with that leaf set is Amy Deschler. And Amy, I believe I have your address because I've picked things up at your house, so I'm sure I can find it very easily. So congratulations, Amy, and thank you for commenting and watching. And then for sharing. Now, this person, I do not have your address. So in order to send you, this was the card we made. This was the little fun fold with our Halloween bundle. It opens up like this. Okay, that fun little fold. Receiving this for sharing. So if you share either YouTube, Facebook, wherever, you share to someone, please mark in the comments that you shared, like a lot of people you've seen have said liked and shared, because oftentimes I cannot see who shared. And so I write everybody's name down, assign you a number, do a random pick. And this time it was, this is what it says on, I think it would have been YouTube, because this is how I wrote it down. Michelle Trow, TROW 1382. 1382. That was what the name said in YouTube. You said that you were from Palm Bay, Florida, so I know that much. So Michelle, if you watched my next video and you see this, please send me an email at createwithsarahllc@gmail.com. And Sarah's with an H. I should put that in. I don't think I have that in a banner to put up here, but I should add that so that I can just put that up there. Nope, I do not have that up there. So I will start adding that. So it's Create with Sarah, SARAH, LLC @gmail.com. And then I will get that off in the mail to you. And then for placing an order, holy cow, I was like $1,000 away from winning or earning the incentive trip. Not winning, because you don't win it, you earn it. And with the free shipping last week, you put me over the top. All of a sudden, Saturday, I'm like, oh, I should kind of check my status. I hadn't really been checking. Vacation Bible Schools last week, as you know. And so my life was crazy. And so Saturday, I was finishing up things for my card buffet so I could get pictures taken, get it out so people could order their cards. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I should take a look. There's a couple of things that I need to order to make sure that I have enough of stuff for my card buffet. And I looked and it said, you've done everything that you need to earn the incentive trip. It'll be finalized at the end of the month. And I'm like, what? And I was $9 over. So, or 9 points over. You need to be at 40,000 points. And I had 40,009 points. And I was like, when did this happen? I don't even know when it happened. But all of a sudden I was shooting off text to my mom. I earned the incentive trip. And I sent it off to my upline Kelly and to Kathy and Lisa, who I went on the last incentive trip with. And I was just so super excited. And then I did thank all of you. So I do have to say that less than 1% of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators worldwide earn the incentive trip. It does take a lot of work, but I have to say it was a goal that I set for myself. I actually even paid to attend a class that Rhonda Wade, who's a demonstrator, she gives this class. And if you follow everything she tells you, you will earn the incentive trip if you follow all of her instructions. And she isn't kidding. The first thing I had to do was I had to clean out my stamp room, and I like organized everything. As you can tell, it has to be done again. Actually, most of that stuff is cards that I just have to sort through. But yeah, I earned it. So there were a lot of you who placed orders. I did put all of your names into a drawing, and receiving a pack of these Shimmer Star foam stickers that I used last week is Shanna Roberts. So Shanna, I will be getting these off in the mail to you. And thank you to all of you. Some of you placed some really big orders, and I really, really appreciate that. And now, just so you know, Stampin' Up! Is offering a special starting on August 5th. Let me put this up here. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. There we go. Starting on August 5th through the 31st, you will get 15% off in color products while supplies last. So there will be a link, and I will share this with you, this link. But if you click on this link, it takes you to the store. And basically, when I went to the store, the link that they took me to, there are things like the Charming Day, that paper that goes with that Charming Day stamp set. That's in there because there are Secret Sea is in there, and Timid Tiger is in there. So if there is anything that has in color products, in color colors in it, it is 15% off starting on August 5th. So I will share that link, and what it'll do, like I said, it'll take you to a page that has all the 2025 through 2027 in color products that will be part of that sale. Now, they're not going to show up as 15% off right now. They will show up as 15% off starting on August 5th. So just so you know, that is coming up. So if you were thinking, I have to get this or I have to get this, and it has in colors in it, hold off if you can just for another week, because August 1st is already on Friday. So August 5th will be next week, Tuesday. And if you are a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, that's when we also get to start ordering from the holiday catalog. And if you are a customer, that's when I can order the catalogs that then I can get to you so you can take a look at that catalog and start making your wish list for September. So I wanted to just give you that heads up, because I know like sometimes when they do the free shipping, some people are like, I just placed an order. I know Donna said that to me. She said, I just placed an order like a day before they announced the free shipping. And unfortunately, they don't give you a heads up to that kind of stuff. I should start keeping track, because I'm guessing that probably around the same time of year, every year, they probably do the free shipping. And I bet if I tracked it, I might be able to kind of tell when it's going to be. So anyhow, let's get to stamping. I think, are we all ready to stamp? I'm going to get this out of my way. And I'm going to go to my demonstration stage. There we go. And I have the directions out here already. I noticed last week I was always a little bit like I was up too high and you couldn't see things. So I ended up moving my camera up a little bit so that that doesn't happen. So I'm going to be cutting the card base and this creative challenge with you for both of them, just to show you how to maximize your paper when you're cutting this. So I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in here. And for this fun fold, the card base starts at 7.5 by 5.5, and we have to score it at 1 inch and 4 1/4 inches. So what you want to do is you want to take a piece, a regular standard piece of cardstock. You want to cut it at 5.5 on the 11-inch side. So you're basically just going to cut it in half. I'm going to set this aside because this is going to be for my next piece. But for my card base, to make it 7.5, this is 8.5. So I just have to come to 1 inch and I have to cut that off. Okay, I'm going to keep this and use this as part of my card. So I'm not going to set that too far. I'm going to leave it right there. Then I'm going to take my cutting blade and get it out of there. And I'm going to score at 1 inch. And I like to score, if it's under 1 1/4, I like to score on the right-hand side, but then I have to flip my paper over because there's 1 inch. Okay, and then I have to go to 4 1/4. Okay, so that's my card base. Then you're going to bring your other piece back in here, and the top layer for your card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so this was your 5 1/2 that we cut. So turn it over and cut it at 4 1/4. And you have this like quarter of a piece that's left. Now, if you have any die cutting that you have to do or you want to do for your card, you could use this piece for that. Like I said, I'm going to use this half a piece, and I'm actually going to cut this down to 4 inches for how I'm going to use it. All right, then let me get the trimmer out of here for now, and then we'll come back to it again. All right, so then you need some coordinating cardstock or DSP for your top layer, and that's going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And for my card, I am using this paper. Isn't this, I love this. I love Timid Tiger. I'm telling you, I just love the orange of Timid Tiger. So anyhow, we're going to use one. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Then you're going to have 3 panels of either coordinating cardstock or DSP. So let's back up. This could be cardstock or DSP. My second card, I used cardstock. My first card, I'm using DSP. My second card, I'm going to use a combination of both. My first card, I used all DSP. So you need 3 pieces that are 3 by 5 1/4. So I cut another one of this one. And then I cut one that I thought went with it, with that Timid Tiger, just bringing out that Timid Tiger along with the Mossy Meadow. I liked how that looked together. And then you need a neutral panel for your inside. I used basic white because the backdrop of this, or the background of this, was basic white. And that also measures 3 by 5 1/4. All right. So this is the standard for this fun fold. Okay, so all of them, you will have this. I mean, you can adjust if you need to. If you decide to do the front a little bit different, that's okay. For my card that I'm making for this one, I also used a piece of basic white that measures 3/4 of an inch by 4. And that's it. That's it. I have a scrap of white. Okay, I'm going to do some stamping. I'm going to get all the stamping done, and then we'll go at putting this together. So this is actually going to be my greeting. And I used I'm going to take this off of here. I used the birthday greeting from the stamp set, Charming Day, which looks like this. Okay, so I used the happy birthday, couldn't find it, happy birthday. And none of the other ones fit for the inside, so I went to a different stamp set and got something for the inside. But there are a couple of stamped images that we could have used. I'm going to use this smaller one. All right, so when I stamp the happy birthday, I'm going to stamp it to the right a little bit because I'm going to put that image over here. And I'm going to stand up so that I can see this a little bit better. Oh, I did a pretty good job. All right, I'm going to clean that off. I like to compliment myself, and the teacher and me always need good letting you know when you do something right, correct? Okay, so this is from the Coneflower celebrating Coneflower Celebrations, I think is what it's called. And it just says, "It's your day." And I'm just going to ink that up in Timid Tiger. I'm just going to stamp that across the center. Now, I'm going to let you know, if you put your card together first and then you start stamping this, it's not going to work so well. I'll show you why. Because my card that I made last night, yeah, it didn't work so well when I added that greeting later. So that's kind of an oops. Can you tell this is homemade? All right, here's my scrap. I'm done with Timid Tiger. Let's close that up. And I'm going to bring out some Memento. And here's that image that I said we were going to use. I wanted to use the smaller one. And I'm also going to stamp one on the inside, okay, of the card. Now I have just a little bit of room to write, which is perfect, right? You don't want to have to write a whole lot in a card. Happy birthday. Hope your day is special. Da, 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 da. I'm done, right? Okay, so I've got some blends here. I have some Timid Tiger. Actually, I'm going to grab, forgot that I was going to do this. I wanted to grab my light peach pie because I think I like that better than the dark. And I'm going to go with those two rather than the two. These are the two. This is the dark peach pie and a light Timid Tiger. All right, I'm going to color the inside, and then this is Mossy Meadow. I'm going to color the inside of this flower in that dark Timid Tiger. And then notice how these are actually, this is actually petal pink, and then there's like some Timid Tiger and petal pink and all of that. But I thought peach pie would probably look really good with this Timid Tiger. So I'm going to do the light peach pie, and I'm going to pull some of the ink from that darker center into my peach pie a little bit. Yeah, I like how that looks. Even though it's not exactly that color, I like the contrast between the two. And then we're going to do a dark in the center here. And then I'm going to go over it with my light. Ooh, this must be a new one. Last night I grabbed one and it was definitely an old one. I had no tip. It was squeaking like crazy when I went to color with it because it was pretty dry. Sarah, you're hopping on late. Anybody hopping on late? Again, this is going to be a creative challenge. So I'm going to be making 2 cards using this fold. And if you decide to take on the challenge and create a card using that fold, and you either post it on Facebook, I'll have a post that I post like within a half an hour of the live being over. And you know what? I cut this out already with the dies. So through the magic of TV, there that is. If you participate and make a card, you could be entered into or you will be entered into a drawing for the chance to win the bundle of your choice. And I will do that drawing next week, Tuesday. You know what? I didn't look at my calendar, but I know I have a meeting on Monday for a retreat that I help plan. And I think Tuesday's free. So I think Tuesday is going to be my day next week. If I look at my calendar and realize I messed up, I will let you know, but pretty sure Tuesday's free next week. There is a Tuesday that's coming up that I will have to, because we have our staff retreat and we have it out of town at the priest from our parish at his family. I think it's like a farm or house or land that he lives on or that he has, and he has it there. And so since we're out of town, I really don't know what time we'll get back. I know we leave in the morning and we carpool. So since we carpool, I'm kind of at the mercy of whoever is either in my car or whoever's car I end up in. Thank you for sharing. So I'm just coloring this, and I could have had this done, but I wanted to show you how quickly it goes coloring all of these little leaves and petals. And then we'll get to the fun fold part of this, which is the fun part. All right, one more. Probably should have used the bullet tip. Usually that's what I use. This one had such a nice tip on it. Must be new. All right. All my stamping, all my coloring is done. It's time to put this together. All right, so let's start with our base. Let me get these out of the way a little bit. Okay, so I have this 1 inch on the left-hand side. I'm going to fold that back. Okay, so I'm going to fold that down. And then what I want to do is I want to fold this one over, and I want this edge to come to the edge here. I don't want it to go past that. If it goes past that, it's going to be a hard time holding it flat. So I usually start where my crease is, but if I notice that, see how it's coming over just that little bit, I want to make sure that I line it up, that it's lined up at the crease, and I'll even force with my bone folder, I'll force it so that it sets no further than that fold line. And then this is going to open back up again. Okay, so this folds back, fold this in, so there's going to be a double opening on this card. All right, so there's that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece right here and we're going to build our front. So I'm going to go ahead, and I like to keep it closed so that I know how far I have to go over. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 right now. And so this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So these have to line up on each other, but I only want to add my glue in this section right here. And I don't know if I brought my glue in here because I was doing all of this last night. This I think is empty. Let me grab a glue. I have a new one. Okay, so I'm going to put the glue just in this section right here. And if you wanted to, you could use tear and tape if you wanted to make sure that it sticks. I like liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. I also have found that if you don't use the Seal Plus and you just use the seal, then you can like kind of tear things off a little bit if you need to as well. Okay, so I'm going to line this up in the corner and on the corner here. And then I found if I just kind of go like this and get it in place, and then once it's in place, give it a good press on this left-hand side. So what's going to happen is this is going to open. Oh, look at that. And then it's going to open again. Has anybody else seen this before? I found it. Robin Armbrecht did it like almost a year ago. I found it on her YouTube channel. And she said that she got it from Susan Campfield. So Susan comes up with some of the most unique folds. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I have that. So see what happened when I went to go put this greeting on here is because this is back here, it didn't stamp the whole image. So I'm going to put this in the center. Then it's just a matter of decorating here. Because I have all the stamping done, we can just go ahead and decorate. And I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to put the floral image on the left-hand side. You could do these all the same if you wanted to. I just wanted to bring this floral one in because I do think this is one of my favorites in that paper. And then we'll do this one in the orange. The Timid Tiger. Okay, and then we're going to close this up and we're going to put some of that Timid Tiger here so we see both of them. Now, if you wanted to, you could stamp a greeting on here if you wanted to have a whole bunch of greetings. You can stamp right on designer paper, so you could stamp a greeting right on here if you wanted to, or you could, you know, do a die cut, do a circle, or do something like that. You could put another one of these flowers, or you could put another die cut or anything in there that you wanted to. Okay, here's my extra piece. All right, this is going to go on here like that. I'm actually, in case I have to do a little trimming, I'm actually going to layer these. On here. So we're going to go like that. And again, I purposely stamped that happy birthday a little bit to the right so that I could put this floral image like that. Okay. This is going to go on here. I think I'm going to raise it up just a little bit. I don't want it right smack dab in the center. Ooh, the Cubs are winning 1-0. Got my phone sitting here and the score's coming up. It was an exciting game last night if you're a Brewers fan. If you're a Cubs fan, maybe not so exciting. They were winning 3-0 in the first inning with I think it was 3-0 and they didn't even have any outs yet in the first inning. So yeah, it was a bad start, but we came back strong. Okay, why did I put that on before I put it on there? In case it was hanging off the edge here, I could trim it if I needed to. So we're going to go ahead and put this on here. All right. Oh, isn't that pretty? So it opens like this and you're like, oh my goodness, there's more. Has anyone seen this bulb before? I hadn't. It was new to me. So maybe I missed it somewhere along the way, but I thought, I like this. So I decided to use this. I'm going to take out some linen thread. Actually, I have some out of the bag already. And just going to cut some off. And I think I'm just going to make a bow, a really big bow. Like that. It's really curly because I'm towards the end of my roll. Look at that. Okay, and we're going to just sort of tape this with some Scotch tape to the back of here, like so. I need to make that a little bit smaller. I don't think I can do it with the tape on. Let me just adjust this a little bit. I'm going to trim the other edges, but I just need to make these little loop-de-loops a little bit smaller. And you know what I might do? It's not how I did it when I made it, but I might just go like this and cut this in half and just put that right there. And then trim these off. And then, yeah, isn't that cool, Tammy, how that just kind of looks like it's separate, even though I just used that little piece that was that 1-inch piece that was left over. I basically just used that. So I'm going to throw on some dimensionals here. There's that flower. I want this to be showing a little bit more. There we go. All right, and you know what? I had some gems. Oh, here they are. Put them over with my next card. We're using the same one. So we're using some of the in colors so that you can see some of these in colors. We're using 3 of them tonight so that when those sales come on, you're like, oh, that's one of the in colors. So this paper has Timid Tiger in, so this paper will be part of the 15% off. At least it was on the list when I went and looked. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice. So like I said, I'll post the little link And I think I'm going to throw one more down here. Okay, just throwing a couple of those little gems in there. This has got it's kind of twisted. There we go. All right, so we open it up. Happy birthday. It's your day. Just like that, we've got our card done, our fun fold. All right, let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and add this, and then I will give you the card with the dimensions again. And now I did not put all the dimensions of the little special things that I did on this one. So this is 3/4 of an inch by 4, and then 1 inch by 4. I think that's the only thing on there that's different. You know what? I don't know that I like the lighter peach pie. We may have wanted to go with the darker or with the light timid tiger. I thought I wanted it just to be a little bit lighter, but, or maybe I needed to go with a petal pink. I'll show you my other card and I'll show you the inside of it. And you can laugh at me and say, oh, she does it too? Yep, I do it too all the time. All right, so there is our, I didn't cut that very straight. There's our envelope that matches. There is the dimensions. There are the dimensions again. So if you want to do a screenshot, you can. All right, and then if we look at the first one that I did last night, so you can see mine is a little bit more orange and that one's a little bit more peachy. My ribbon looks like, my twine looks a little bit better on mine. But then you go like this and you open it up. Yeah, look at that. See, this is uneven. And when I tried to stamp it afterwards, it didn't work so well. So that was my advice. Make sure you stamp it before you put it down because it is uneven and that kind of stuff happens. So I could put a label on here. I could try to line this up when I don't have a camera on me and see if I could get it lined up. I'll probably just put like a label or something over the top of it and just call it a day. All right, but they also can look at this and say, oh my gosh, she made this card. It's not bought at a store. She made it. It's homemade. There's a mistake. Anyhow, there we go. That is card number 1. All right, we're going to make one more of these. So let me get to I'm going to get some of these stamps out of here. I'm going to set them over here. And I'm going to grab, I put it all on we're going to use Secret Sea and Cloud Cover for our next card. Ooh, it's a surprise. Okay, let me get it out of here before you see it. Okay. Ooh, we are going to be using the Beautiful Gallery Suite. I have it open to that page. So there is the Gallery Blooms, which is all florals. It also has some dies in it that are very unique. I haven't used them yet, but I've received some swabs that use these, frames. Cuts all of these out, so you could either have a smaller frame or a larger frame. Cuts out the floral images. And then there is the Beautiful Motifs, which has more of the greetings and some little background stamps. And then these dies, I have one of them out because I'm using it for my card buffet. That is, these have more like, these are really unique, but these are just more, they don't cut any of the greetings out or any of the flowers out. They're just pieces that you can add to that. And then we have the Beautiful Gallery designer paper, which I think I've shown you this before. It's very, oops, I think I have some, oh, look at this. I've got a lot of the same here. So this is beautiful paper. We're going to be using this one right here. This card just kind of, I felt like it wasn't one where you could do like a scenery and keep taking, or you could just cut this and you could stamp right on here because this is so beautiful. I was doing a wedding card because it's kind of wedding season. And so I decided to use that other one. And then we're going to use this embossing folder. Okay, now I got to remember, I wrote here, I have it. I kept saying it wrong. So I did my pronunciation on my phone.
Damask.
Damask. Damask is how you say that. I keep saying damask. And I know it's not damask because every time somebody that's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator says that, somebody always corrects them. Damask. Okay, so that's how you say that, I guess, if Google's correct, and Google's always right, correct? So anyway, that's what I'm going to be using for this card. All right, let's put this away. And I'm not using these. I'm going to be using some of the same flat pearls that we use just because they're a little bit flatter. Oh, it's 1-to-1, ladies and gentlemen. If any gentlemen are watching, I'm sorry. My dad's probably watching with my mom. All right. So now we're going to start again by cutting this in half, 5.5, just like that. All right, I'm going to set this aside for right now. I'm going to cut off 1 inch on this side so that it's 7.5 instead of 8.5. This time I don't need this piece. So I'm going to get that out of here so I don't grab the wrong one later. And then we're going to score it at 1 inch. So I like to score my 1 inch on the right side because it gives me more space to make sure that this is straight up here. Okay, so then I have to flip it over because there's 1 inch and then 4 1/4. Okay, then my card front, I just have to cut at 4 1/4. And this time I want 1 3/4 cut off. So 1 3/4. And I only want it by 5 1/4 instead of 5.5. So I'm going to cut that little bit off too. Okay, so this is the part that's kind of optional. So last time I used this 1 inch piece for my greeting. Now I'm going to be using this instead. So basically your front is just a card. You make the card front however you want. So if you want to take a layout that you have, oh, Nancy's watching me in the Brewers as well. If you want to take a layout that you have that you really like, just decorate the front of it in that layout and then just fix the inside however you want the inside. Okay, what I'm using for my other pieces, I don't need this 1 inch piece. I'm going to get rid of it so I don't. All right, look at this. I embossed with that embossing folder the envelope. I love doing that. I think it's so fun. All right, so I'm using for my front, instead of designer paper, I'm using some cloud cover that I ran through that embossing folder. So this is my 4 by 5 1/4. Let's see, where did I put my directions? They're here somewhere. What did I do with, oh, I bet I took them away with my catalog maybe. Oh, here they are. Okay, so that's my 4 by 5 1/4. So the coordinating cardstock or designer series paper. So I decided to use cardstock this time. And because this was cloud cover in the background and that was Secret Sea, I used cloud cover. So this is 4 by 5 1/4, and I ran it through that damask embossing folder. Is that what it was? Damask. Yeah, I think so. And then I have 2 of the 3 panels. So I need 3 panels of coordinating cardstock or DSP. 2 of them I ran through the embossing folder. And then 1 of them is this DSP that we're using. So these are all my 3 by 5 1/4. And here's my white 3 by 5 1/4. And then this piece is 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. Okay, so just 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. All right, let's go ahead and get a piece of scrap paper. And we're going to take this. And, oh, and I also punched out with the 1 7/8 inch punch. This is what the designer paper looks like on the other side. And I'm like, I can stamp right on top of that. So I cut this out with 1 7/8, and then this one is 2 inches so that they layer very nicely like that. Hi, Cheryl. All right, so we're going to stamp on this, we're going to stamp on this, and we're going to stamp on our scrap. And we're going to be using Secret Sea ink for all of it, which is darker than navy. Almost looks black in some things, but it is still a blue. All right, so on the inside, let me bring this over here. I'm going to stamp the word celebrate. Again, this is a wedding card. I'm going to do it a little bit off to the left because down in the right-hand corner, this is a really, really big block for this stamp, but all my blocks are being used because I have a card buffet this week. So when you make 16 cards, people don't make 16 cards. I design 16 and they choose the 8 that they want to make. But I have all the blocks out for all 16 of them. Okay, so I just put that down in the corner. All right, and then I'm going to stamp that again on my scrap. Doesn't that look so nice? All right, and then through the magic of TV, I'm going to use the dies that come with it to die cut that. And then on the outside, we are going to say, whoops, it's not going to go there. It says, wishing you love and happiness that last a lifetime. And we're going to stamp that in the center. I'm going to do it down a little bit so I can put a ribbon up there. All right, so that's going to go on there. Woohoo, we're done with our stamping. Not coloring this time. We're just stamping. It's just going to be an outline of the stuff. All right, so we are ready to put this together. So again, I can get rid of this because I cut that out. We are going to fold this back. All right, and give that a good burnish with their bone folder or credit card or whatever you use. And then again, I'm going to keep that folded back because I want to make sure this doesn't go past that. So I'm going to line this up with that edge and just kind of take my bone folder and push it back so that that crease is for sure not going past that line right there. I think it's like I just did it crooked though. Let me fix that. There we go. Force it. There we go. So this, when you do that, you can kind of just force it the way you want it. So that still goes back. No, it's not crooked. It just looks like it's crooked. It's not. All right. This time on this background, I am going to layer my designer paper with just that 1/8 of an inch. So this was 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then this was 1 5/8, and this was 1 3/4. So there's just an 1/8 of an inch difference. So this is going to go on here. Try to get it straight. There we go. And then that's just going to go along the left-hand side of, so see how you can just take, this is a layout that I use quite often. And I'm just making my front like a layout that I usually use. Nothing fancy. There we go. So see how this is just a little bit longer. By putting this on before I attach it to the navy, I can go ahead and I can trim that little bit off so that it's flush. All right, and then we'll go ahead and add this to our Night of Navy. Set that right in there. I like to go out to the edge, especially when I have something that is embossed like this, because otherwise the edges tend to curl up. Now I've got a little bit of glue that's coming out of there because I did get a little bit too close. We don't sell these anymore, but you can definitely get these on Amazon. They're just an adhesive eraser. Usually you have to wait for your glue to dry in order for it to work. So I'm just kind of spreading it right now instead of picking it up. But this is just an adhesive remover. All right, then we're going to go ahead and put our glue in this section right here, just this 1-inch section, because we only want to attach it there. And we're going to line up the ends. And I just kind of get it all lined up and then press it down. Thanks, Linda. Hi, Brooke. Hey, Cheryl. I don't know if I said hi to you, Cheryl. All right. So then we will open it this way and open it that way. Voila. I'm going to put this thought about using that light blue, but I really loved this paper, so I wanted to be able to see more of that. So I don't know if there's a right or a wrong way to the paper, so we're going to put it this way. And now I'm going down too far. Last week I was going up too much. Now I'm going, and I moved my camera a little bit so that I didn't keep doing that. And now I'm pulling it closer to me. All right, that's going to go there. And then when we flip it, I'm going to have the blue over here. I didn't even look if, I think there is a right and a wrong way. Did I do these wrong? No. Okay. I don't think they would have fit in the embossing folder the other way. All right, so then we'll put this in here. All right, so then this closes like that. That closes like that. When we open this up, I thought, let's just have a little bit of flour on that, but I didn't want to put it up on dimensionals because it's already like 3 layers thick. So you've got this bottom, you've got this one, and then you've got this over the top of it. I just didn't want to make it too thick. So I thought I'm just going to add the little bit of flour down there. And we'll layer these on top of each other. And because this side piece that has the DSP is on, it's 2 layers there. It's actually 2 layers on top of that layer, and that's embossed, which also brings it up. I found that I needed some dimensionals on the right-hand side, but not the left-hand side, because it's just raised a little bit because of this being on all of that. So I'm just going to throw some dimensionals on. Kind of on the right side, and we're going to put some glue over here. Hi, Jan. This is a creative challenge, Jan, so you're going to want to watch it. Oops. Go like that. I don't want it smack dab in the center. I want it over a little bit that way so you can still see all your flowers. And then we have our blue Secret Sea ribbon, which ties beautiful bows. I'm going to show you how I fixed a mistake on the one that I made last night. I was like struggling because I didn't have enough blocks. So what I did was I put this on here, and then I had put the greeting on here as well. And I'm like, oh, that's all right. This is a big enough stamp. I can just stamp on this side and then stamp on that side. Well, then I didn't center it up very well on my circle. And because I didn't have it centered, I had to try to fix it so I didn't have to restamp it and redo it. So I'll show you what I did when I show you the final. All right, I'm going to get a glue dot. See how having that designer paper that you're stamped on just doesn't make it as stark white, but it also isn't the cloud cover. It gives it just a little bit of something different. Put that up there. Voila. Okay, I might have to put it up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to take those same pearls, which, darn, where did I put them? I put them over here. Here they are. And I'm going to take the darker ones, and I think I'm just going to use 2. And I'm just going to run them because this is off a little bit more to the left. I'm just going to do 1 there and 1 there. And I'm not going to worry about a 3rd one. I'm just going to do 2 of them on there. Wishing you love and happiness that lasts a lifetime. And then celebrate. Whoops, celebrate. I see I still went up too high. Why is that not focusing in right away? And that's weird. This camera had been doing so well, and now all of a sudden it's not. So there we go. There is our second card. Here again are those dimensions for that fun fold in case you need to take a picture. Get that out of there. There you go. Take a screenshot if you would like. And again, the envelope, I went ahead and embossed it already. So that is all set to go. All right, so the one that I made last night, when I stamped it, it was stamped too far over to the right and it wasn't centered. So I moved my bow over here. And, you know, to be honest with you, I kind of like the bow over here instead of on the top. And this was a mistake. This was how I wanted it. This was a mistake. And you could really stamp this a little bit lower yet so that your ribbon doesn't go into your greeting as much. But there are our cards. That is our creative challenge. So the creative challenge again, create a card using this fold. And I don't even know what it's called. I think something with 3-panel is what the name of it was. I think they have the name 3-panel in it because it's got 1, 2, well, there's actually 4 panels, but 3 panels of the DSP. So again, it looks like just a normal card when you get it. You're like, oh, that's a pretty card. Then you go to open it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's really cool. All right, so that is our challenge. So I will be posting within the next half hour. I'm going to turn the Brewers are up 2-1. I am going to turn the Brewers on and I am going to be taking my pictures. I will post a picture along with these dimensions, and it will say at the top of it, it'll say creative challenge. And what you need to do is on that post, sometime before next Tuesday, post a picture of a card that you made with this layout, with this fun fold, and then your name will be entered into a drawing to win the bundle of your choice. If you are not on Facebook, because I know a lot of you follow me on YouTube and not on Facebook, and you're not on Facebook, you can email me, createwithsarahllc@gmail.com. You can email me your picture. I know a couple of people have done that in the past. I will post it on Facebook with your name so that everybody knows that you did it. And then you'll be also put into the drawing next week. I will do it live on Tuesday. So make sure you have it in, gosh, probably by like 5 o'clock Central Time next week, Tuesday, in order to make sure that I get you into the drawing. So that is our fun fold for our creative challenge. Let me come back to you. There we are. Here I am. All right. So thank you so much for joining me tonight, or joining me later on the replay. I appreciate your support of my business. And again, thank you to all of you who placed orders that put me over the top for the Alaskan cruise. I'm so excited about that because, after all, I do have to say this every single time, less than 1% of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators earn this because it does take a lot of work. So I appreciate all of you in helping me achieve that goal. So that is it for today. I will get this posted, like I said, within the half an hour on Facebook so that you can see that. And then you can go back and you can see other people's take on this fun fold. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great week. Have fun being creative. And I will see you again next week, Tuesday. Bye-bye.